The third, when you've defined understood your scope and you've created your work breakdown structure, the next thing you do is activity. Activity is the smallest unit of work that must be done before a project is completed. For instance, maybe like the two-bedroom flat, you can have activities like laying of blocks laying, um, plastering or rendering, painting. All those are activities. So defining activity is a process of identifying and documenting specific action to be performed to produce the product deliverables. Key benefit of this process is that it decomposes the work package into scheduled activities that provide basis for estimating, scheduling, executing, monitoring, and controlling of the project work. So during this step, you define your activity, you list them down into a very small unit of work that is going to be done. Once you do that, you are good with the activities and you move to the next one, which is sequence activities. In sequencing activities, we have in sequencing activities is a you give a relationship to each activities. How is this activity related to this other one? Am I going to start this activity the same time I'm starting this activity? Uh, am I going to do this one, finish A before I do B? Am I is B or A depending on the next one? So we have four types of relationship in we have four types of relationship. So in sequencing activities, another way it's called is relationship. So relationship is a logical dependency between one activity and another. The four types of relationship we have is number one, finish to start. That means A must finish before you start B. You now have start to start. That means these two activities can actually start at the same time. You now have finish to finish. That means the finish of a particular activity. This one A will not finish until B finishes. So in the third type of relationship is start to finish. That means the successor activities, for instance, B cannot finish until a predecessor activity A has started. So these things, this dependency logic is what you need to place each and every one activity, how they are related to each other. And in relationship, you can go into what is called lag days, this offset between one activity and the other. For instance, if you have 1 day lag day, 1 day lag for a particular activity, you now say this one will finish to start 1 day lag. That means you have 1 day. For instance, maybe you were pouring concrete, you need 5 or 3 days for it to cure. That 3 days can be your lag days. You can say finish to start with B, 4 days lag day. So those are the relationship between you. Those relationship are what you need to link at all your activities that you have defined. You link this. How is this one related to this one? How is this one related to this one? How is this one related to this? Is related to B, and how is B related to C, and so on. And when you are doing this, you need to be sure that there is no activity that is open-ended except your first and the last activity. Open-end activity is the activity that is without a success, that activity without a successor or a predecessor. All activities must have predecessor and a successor. The only activity that is not permitted to have a predecessor is your start activity, and the only activity that is not permitted to have a successor is your finished activity. So those once you do all this, you are good with the process of sequencing your activities.